Hi, hello. Welcome back to Guru Grit. We're going to have a continuation of my ramblings from the last video. Things I just generally do not appreciate or respect or see a need to even have in the world. Just feeling really happy and I'm in a good mood. So I thought I would talk about things that generally wouldn't make me smile, but I'm so unaffected it doesn't really matter. An iced coffee in the evening time definitely helps, but welcome to Guru Grit. Let's just be real for a minute. Let's really be real with ourselves, okay? Let's self-reflect, because I'm trying to do a book thing, because I love doing the book thing. So you know The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. So here we have David J. Schwartz, The Magic of Getting What You Want. Yes, yes you can have that. But at what cost is always the question. So here he says, and I tagged it, because I really want people to hear this. They always assume life will just give you everything. As Abraham says, life isn't always even, but it is always fair. You just get what you put out. That's just it, and everyone's like, it's not fair. It's not fair. And I'm like, who said anything about being here was fair? Think of it we're the cosmic scumbag of the solar system. Our planet is so funny sometimes. So just be happy that you're here and make the most of it. So in your next life, you can just do a little better wherever you end up, okay? But he says this, okay, this is for the best mental vision. Keep on selling yourself to yourself. So, I'm really compassionate when it comes to narrative, because I was extremely shy as a young person. I was very nonverbal, and then one day I just exploded and came out of my shell. So narrative for me comes easily because I'm a talker and I'm a listener. I enjoy communicating. But when it comes to talking to myself, I was generally not the best at that. I was very mean to myself, extremely. So I understand if some people struggle with that, so I'm very patient and I'm happy. But he has this thing called mental vision, where you talk to yourself, how would you project yourself, how would you sell yourself to yourself, okay? So I'm a saleswoman. If you're not a salesperson, how would you do it, So he gives this one line I really want to highlight, okay? He says, examples of points to develop doesn't mean you're born with, you develop it, you self-cultivate, you become a cultivated individual. Points to develop are your exceptional initiative, integrity, attractiveness, liking of other people, willingness to sacrifice, and eagerness to accept responsibility. So the last three are the most prominent, I feel So we'll start with liking of other people. You don't have to actually like society as a whole. You don't even have to like most people, but it helps. It just helps to enjoy life, and it helps to move through the world when you enjoy other human beings, if you don't want to make more new friends, that's fine, but enjoy the ones that you have, really invest, give freely of your heart, be generous in spirit, okay? Co-workers, same thing. You spend so much time with them, just do your best to be decent, okay? It will take you far. It's an energy game. It really does work, okay? Second is willingness to sacrifice. I find this one funny because it doesn't matter how much older I get, I just feel the amount, I look around me and everything just seems to be by default, that person makes a lot of money because they went to school to be an engineer. That's why. What did you do? Art history. Okay, not a problem. What did you learn? Did you learn to send emails? Do you have a really good handle? You have a grasp on grammar? Because you read a lot as a historian, right? Or a creative. Surely, you know something. Monetize that, but are you willing? It's no, it's I put in the work from 18 to 21 when I got my degree. I'm not doing that again. Well, no, you have to be willing to sacrifice, and this is another thing. I don't like people blaming people for choosing an education. I'm defending it. Just to me, academia to a great degree is a scam, but I love learning. I've always liked school. I've been to university several times, so but it's what you choose to do with that. Nothing is really promised, but you have to be willing. Even applying for jobs is a sacrifice on your time. Cover letters, all this, everything is an effort. So stop equating effort with difficulty. So cooking is a very good analogy. Roasting a Christmas turkey isn't hard. It's just time consuming. It's an effort. If you brine it the night before, that's an effort, but it will taste more delicious the next day. It takes a long time to cook, but while it's doing that, you can do X amount of things, That's the difference. Don't assume if something takes a long time, it's really hard. don't assume if something is like short and intense bursts, it's hard. It just is what it is, okay? Like sacrifice is unavoidable, that's life. Like the best analogy would probably be like children, you know? Like they're beautiful and you'd love to have them and you want to love them, but you've got to like find someone and make them and birth them. It's like pregnancy is like a high risk medical activity, you know? But it's a sacrifice, okay? So I'll leave it at that. And lastly, eagerness to accept responsibility. This one really just like makes me shine, because as I was rambling earlier and now the points escape me, but I just feel like the more responsible you are for things, the more fulfillment you have in your life. I just do. I just think it's true. I don't know where I learned it. I have very hardworking parents and they're some of the happiest people I know, and I think it comes from the fact that they have a lot of pressure on them and they just like, it helps you put things into perspective, you know? So speaking of perspective, maybe unpopular opinion, but you know, like jealousy and stuff like that, envy. There was this like meme, I don't remember when, like probably 20 years ago maybe now, but there was a girl who had like her foot over the curb and she was like looking over her shoulder and it said, "Jealousy's a disease, get well soon." And I just thought it was what an icon. I love that. But I've never had a jealous nature. And the thing is, people attract jealousy all the time. We actually spoke of this on a live like last week. Our good friend Charlotte said, you know what, like how do you deal with that? Because like I tell people good things and then they go wrong, and it's like people are secretly so gleeful when something goes wrong for you. Like what's wrong with people? Here's the thing to understand about like jealousy and envy. Like if you're one of those people, stop. And I don't think it's cute when they're like, I'm a hater, it's funny. Like no, like I'm a hater. Like if you're gonna be a hater, you have to be funny about it. Like it actually has to be funny. You have to have like discernment. And maybe you're a little bit cynical or something. It has to be like dry and hilarious. But like to actually be hateful isn't cute. It's just like a sad, empty life, and it just like shifts things out of perspective. I don't remember who or what it was, but I don't remember. Anyway, somebody came on the live, they said something about somebody who's like famous now, and they're like in their mid-20s, okay? And they're like, it's cause they're this, and whatever. I don't remember what, but I think they're like in the arts. And I thought, okay, so this person's like, or these people are like 25, 26, whatever, and they're like very successful and they're doing very well for themselves. And I'm like, okay, fine. But let's take this another way. When you were like 20, 21, like when I was 20, 21, even now that I'm not, you could do anything. You could do anything. You would have to endeavor to end up on like the local newspaper for some type of like buffoonery, you know? Like you could just live life in peace and privacy and harmony, just like completely flying under the radar, you know? You'd have to like try to do something so bad that you ended up a person of some type of notoriety, okay? But these people, just like, okay, I know they're paid a lot of money, so it's like a trade-off, but I don't think it's like necessarily, it's not a thing that I envy. I don't envy that. Like, I don't want what you have. I want what I have. I just want more of it. You know? I'm very like happy that I could do whatever I want and like nobody would care. You know, it's like amazing to me. I think I'm blessed like every day. I'm like, God must love me so much that like every time I go out, I get to do anything I want. And there's like no consequence of like public opinion in the court of public opinion. But these young people who are like maybe dragging amps from the age of like 16, missing school, or like on movie sets, being probably molested or whatever, God forbid, you know, touch wood, they didn't like grow up in a normal world. They will like never be very normal. They sacrificed a lot. They probably even ate like some really crappy food while they were like hustling at all hours of the night, like raiding gas station fridges, like sharing dinky cars or whatever. Like I don't envy that. I slept in comfort, you know, I had student debt, that stressed me out later on. But like I lived really well, you know, like everything just like has like some kind of balance when you really think about it, you know. So I don't like the idea of envy when people work really hard and they're entitled to their success, right? Like if I was to work really hard, I mean I do, but if I became successful, I can't imagine somebody like watching these videos when I have like 25 viewers that I probably know everyone on a first name basis being like, bitch, you know, how dare you be happy and make something of yourself. I'm just like, what? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, you should be happy for people. You should be happy for people who put in the work and get something from it, you know? Like, when I was in university, I worked so hard. Like, sometimes I was driven to tears, and there was like financial pressure and health issues and all this stuff, you know? And nothing would stop me from like grasping at my achievement, because like I achieved it, okay? So other people's opinions like do not matter to me. Okay? Other people's opinions mean nothing. Like, I earned it. It's like me versus me. So I always think like you should be happy for successful people. That's it. Like, stop being envious. It's weird to me. It's also weird to me like that some people don't like to see other people happy, you know? It's just like it's just crazy. I have to laugh. I have to laugh. Whether they're like men or women, I've noticed like some people, they will hold you in their life as some kind of like emotional placeholder, and you must be as miserable as they are. And if you're not, then they're like threatened that you might leave them. And as soon as like you fall in love and like take off to be happy, they're not happy for you. It's like so deeply unchill. It's like so juvenile. Can we just stop? Third point, speaking of juvenile things, in the last video, I didn't finish my, you know, like honestly, no battery's gonna like run. You know what things I hate? How about Sony? How about make a camera that's supposed to do what it does? Like, just record. How does the camera overheat after 15 minutes? Like, were you tanning all day? Like, what's going on? It's funny because I named her Tangerine, so, because she has an orange cover. She's so cute. I love you. I love you. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Just like, work a little harder, okay? You're slowing down Guru Grit. I have things to say nobody asked about. That's the most important thing. Astrology, recommendation. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Speaking of like how we speak to women, I have something to share I don't really appreciate, which is when we consider what it is to be like a woman and what life is like for a woman, there's this bizarre language. Like, really observe and like listen deeply, okay? When we discuss men, we phrase things very differently to how we discuss women. I'm not saying it's badly meant, but I think we do it without realizing it, okay? So for example, if you're talking to a woman, I heard someone say something recently like, well, when a woman has her own money, she can marry for love. She doesn't have to marry for security, you know? And then if a woman marries for love, like, he'll be broke and she'll suffer. And then he'll still cheat and he'll still leave. And if she marries rich, she'll still cheat, he'll still leave. And it's like, can we just... What? Like, what is happening? Can we talk about people's futures with some well-wishing essence to it? So when we discuss women, we always talk about choices. Example, you can choose this or that. You can either have a man with money so you don't struggle, or you have a man who cares about you but you're going to struggle. It's never this and that. You can have a man that you adore who just so happens to have a good job, who just so happens to have a down payment for a house, who just so happens to be rich or wealthy or is really generous, has a provider mentality. Like, you can have both. Why can't you have both? Then we'll get to like, you can have a career or kids. You can have this or that, you know? It's like, it's weird. And when we talk about men, he's king of the castle. He has a house, and he has money, and he has a woman who loves him, and she's loyal, and she packs his lunch, and she cooks for him, and his kids love him, and he's a hero, and he's amazing in the eyes of the world, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, everybody can have it all as long as they like live and breathe on earth. Of course, there are limitations to the society that we live in because it's designed by men. You know, it's hard for women to like have a career and a child and keep up with whatever, but it starts with you, and it starts with how you view your place in the world, right? Like, I'm not blind to that. Like, I'm treated differently because I'm female. I'm written off. Sometimes I'm dismissed. Sometimes I'm insulted. Okay, but I'm not offended. Like, I choose not to be offended because I think if you insult someone you don't know based on nothing, based on what? Based on what? You know, your intelligence is so inferior that like by indulging you, I would lower myself to your like microbial level. It just doesn't affect me. But at the same time, like, you can choose to think of yourself as someone who can have the life that you want to live, right? So just like in terms of narrative and how we like talk about ourselves to ourselves and to each other as women, just like rebuke that in the name of something holy. Just be like, no, I get to have everything. And Abraham said, more is the mantra of the universe. It's like this and this and this and this and that and that and this and that and this and that and this and that. Okay, you can have kids and have 4 weeks vacation and have a mortgage-free home and have a cottage and have hobbies, and you can have it, but it starts with you thinking that you can't. It's pretty much like the beginning of your unraveling and your undoing. Okay, I understand the statistics, I understand society and culture and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not interested in that. I don't live there. I live in here, in my mind. In my mind, I'm free. Okay, so when we talk to each other and when we talk about each other and when we talk about ourselves, we must lead by example and just like don't be so quick to have that like knee-jerk answer to everything, how everything sucks because you're a girl. Like it really, and also it's hurtful when you spend time around children, which I'm doing more and more these days as I get older. My friends are having kids, like everyone's having kids, and you like, they like reflect it. They're so pragmatic, like they just like reflect it back to you immediately. They're like, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm a girl and a girl, and you're like, oh my gosh, oh no, like they overheard someone say this or that, or they thought this is supposed to be hard. It's like, let's not, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm getting bombarded with messages, so I'm just gonna go maybe check them and see if there's talk about narcissism. Done, let's go. So my friend just texted me, talk about narcissism. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, there's a huge issue with that. There's a lot of like textbook narcissist things. I lived with a narcissist. It's a very painful experience. It just sucks, doesn't it? But anyway, that's in the past. I have a coach, and he said, you know, I couldn't continue doing what I was doing like as an athlete. So I got really sick, and then he went, I got cancer, which is like horrible, you know, and I went, oh, I'm really sorry, you know, because like it interrupted his career. And he goes, oh no, don't be, it's in the past. Like I teach now and I love it. I love what I do. I'm an entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, imagine that, imagine having the mental strength to be like, I was diagnosed with something that tried to kill me. It didn't, it failed, and I'm happy about it. You know, I'm like, this is like king behavior. I need to like get on your level. So as far as narcissists go, I just want to say, if you are in a relationship with someone like that and you find yourself in a really uncomfortable position, there is a future for you that doesn't involve that person. And just let everything they say completely slide off your back. It literally means nothing. Their version of reality is so distorted anyway, there's just no point. Like, don't even bother. I'll give you the bother. Don't even bother. Don't even bother, okay? Just this is all you need to know about narcissists, okay? I need to get more hopped up on coffee. That's exactly what we need. Narcissists have 2 modes of existence. That's it. I feel like that Nicki Minaj, was the Nicki Minaj sound on TikTok. She's like, I got 3 looks. And that's it. I'm like, that's it, okay? A narcissist is either above you or below you. There's no equal. There's no equal. They have no equal. It's not possible in their mind. In their mind, it's not possible. So if they're above you, they're better than you. They have the right to bully you. They have the right to gaslight you, to throw everything in your face because you're stupid, you're wrong, you're dumb, you're good for nothing. I would be willing to bet my last dollar that I had to my name, okay, to anybody who was living with one, married to one, in love with one, whatever. At some point they said to you, my life is perfect. I'm a happy person. You're my problem. You're what's wrong with me. You're my biggest problem. Because they can never be, remember when I was just saying accountability, it's like they can never be accountable for anything. And then the second mode of being is under you, which means when you stand up for yourself and you're like, well, that can't be true because yesterday you told me I was the best thing that ever happened to you and you love me, and I'm the reason you could afford your new car, I'm the reason that we are able to pay for this apartment or this house, or, you know, I'm the, like, what? Then you're a bully. See, they're always above you or beneath you. So either you're what's wrong or they're hurt by you mentioning what's wrong. So this is literally trying to reason with an unreasonable being. Do not reinvent the wheel. It can't be done, okay? Like, just get out. Just like save yourself and get out. That's all I have to say about like narcissism. It is pretty rampant these days. And I would also never try to like enlighten anybody, because I can't remember what it's called, but I watched a documentary like 15 years ago. And they basically said that there's virtually no such thing as a self-aware narcissist. They said less than 2% of diagnosed narcissists actually understand how acutely selfish they are. The other 98% just have like no reflection. They have no reflection. So you're wasting your breath, or you have some kind of like, if you have some kind of like Mother Teresa impulse, you're wasting your energy. Go volunteer at a dog shelter or something, okay? They will never ever understand you're trying to like be kind to them. All they know is to do is like to like take. So I guess I suppose you could ask yourself like why you ended up with someone like that. Like, were you in a bad place in your life? What was your energy at the time? And then keep it moving. So the last thing I'll say is about trust issues. I find this so funny, but I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like I was thinking about like dating, because people have been talking about that a lot. I guess it's like cuffing season. It's summer, you know, like everybody wants those matching Starbucks cups for autumn. Power to you, be happy, go forth. See what it is to like wish people well. It's so easy. And I thought, all my problems come from my parents, you know, like any other person would say that. You could have the most amazing parents, you're gonna find something wrong because you're a child. That's what's up, right? And it doesn't matter how old you are, I don't care how many Oscars you win, how many millions of dollars you have, I don't care how popular you are, who cares, okay? You are first and foremost your mother's child, your father's child. I'm like, first and foremost, I'm your daughter. I wasn't anything before I came into this world as your daughter. And this is what makes me laugh, okay? So some people have like trust issues because their parents were not there for them or something, okay? I'm like, I was talking to my friend and I was like, how do we meet these horrible people? How could this happen to us? And I was like, oh my God, do you know what we have in common? I was like, our parents loved us so good that we literally thought the world was like that. My trust issues come from the fact that imagine this, imagine how backwards the world is. My father is such a good man, and I respect him and admire him and love him so much that like an idiot, I went through the world actually thinking all men are like that. They're not. Okay, they're not. And I heard someone on TikTok say, it's like, well, my problem for not recognizing red flags was that I didn't grow up with any. And I was like, that's so true. I literally just like didn't get it. I just like didn't know. I just like didn't know any better. I literally didn't know any better. I was like so naive. Like, my parents are such good people. They've been married 41 years in a couple months, okay? And I'm just like, oh, that's what couples do. And then you like go out in the world and you're like, it's not doing what it should have done. It's not doing the thing I thought it would does the thing that it do. It didn't do that, you know. It's like, because not everybody is like that. It's like, I didn't realize. So don't beat yourself up over that ever, you know. Like, whether you had an example, had no example, or had a bad example, in the end, why am I yelling? I'm just like so hype. I want everybody to be happy so much. I'm like, it's just like so happy. And I think there's a party happening behind me. I swear I can feel the joy. I was just like, it's radiating. But anyway, 23 minutes, god damn. I need a timer, I need a manager, I need someone to stand here with like a cowbell or like a shot, like a shot collar. As soon as I hit 10 minutes, I'm like, eh, and just like wrap it up. Wrap it up. Anyway, yeah, that was like my biggest problem. Is like I had such loving family members, and my late uncle, God rest him, was like my biggest supporter in life. Like, that man, I'm gonna cry. He never once let me get off the phone without saying, it's like his way of saying I love you, you know. He said, but my darling, I believe in you. If I know anything in this life, is that I believe in you, you know. And I was like, wow, like I've been so fortunate that it just like behooved me that someone in life could end up being horrible to you. You know what I mean? But it happens, and maybe other people have different experiences, but at the end of the day, I just want this to be known. Whether you had no positive presence, the opposite of a positive presence, or you did have a positive presence, at the end of the day, wherever you stand now, you recalibrate from that point. Okay, so it's like Edgar Cayce, when I did his book Sex and the Spiritual Path, I think I mentioned it in the first part because I just want to get that out of the way. It's like a heavy theme. He said, you know, it's best to minimize the amount of sexual partners you have because of like energy flow. I explained it in the series, go watch it. But he says, I think, I'm not sure if I remember if it was an escort or someone asked, like, you know, I've had this like problem, or I've been an addict, or this was my line of work, and he said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because like every second of the day you're a new person. So he says wherever you are, you start from there and you make your decision from that point in time. So from that point in time, you're like a new person. So if you've never had a good example, if one day you wake up and you said, no, I want love, I want good, healthy love that's meaningful, that's whatever, okay? You start fresh, like everything's erased, every crappy relationship, everything is gone, okay? And you see this a lot of the time, like people with their second marriages or their, what do they call them? Is it like a second baby daddy phenomenon? I can't remember, but I saw something online which made me laugh. I really have to get more on the internet, it just really cracks me up. But they said like, couldn't hold a candle to the first, could not hold a candle to this man, like he's so much better than the first one, or she's so much better than the first one, or whatever, you know? So like, you can deprogram all that pain and like start fresh, okay? So take responsibility for your life and forge onwards. And I don't even know what this is supposed to be about. I've just like had a lot of caffeine. I'm hopped up on carbs as well. I had a lot of carbs today, which I love. That's another problem I have. Oh, it's never gonna end. Is like the war on carbohydrates. Shut up. You're so, it's so annoying. I want to like yarf. I'm gonna barf my gizzards right into the gutter when people are like, I cut out bread, and I'm like, okay, well, if I cut out bread, my IQ would just like plummet 1,000 points. Like, literally, I don't know. Like, my personality is like eating bread. Like, I don't know who I would be if I didn't eat bread and Nutella. Like, honestly, people who live longest in the world have 80% starch-rich diets, like in Osaka, Japan, and Costa Rica. What are you talking about? Like, you need to eat a balanced diet. Just a war on everything. I just feel like society is exhausting. I would love to be a hermit. Can we get Guru Grit to 1 million? Like my friend Jen always says, I should get Guru Grit to 1 million. She's kidding. It's funny. But I'm like, please, I want to retire in a hut in the mountains. I just want to be left alone so badly. It's like every other day on the news, there's something to fight. Are we like, I don't know, I feel like I'm living in some like backwards Arthurian legend or something. Like we need dragons slayed or some like mythical enemy to like slaughter, which we now see on the TV. It's always like, bread is bad for you, breathing air is bad for you, not breathing air is bad for you, not eating bread is bad for you. And I'm just like, God, can a girl just live and like do what she wants and have this iced coffee at 7 p.m.? Just let me live. Another thing too, I mentioned a book many times called The Woman Code by Dr. Elisa Vitti, and she's really very knowledgeable. Like she's mind-blowingly smart about anything to do with like estrogen, endocrine system, hormonal balance. Like if you have like painful periods, PCOS, any of that, please like go buy her book. Like I read it 10 years ago. It's mind-blowing. Anyway, she did some interview and she said any data that we have on like keto or intermittent fasting, the majority of those study groups were men. It actually doesn't help women. It actually can damage your fertility. Like it shrivels up your ovaries. It like ruins your fertility. Don't you want like bouncy, juicy ovaries, like full of eggs or like fertile? Maybe you don't, I don't know. But like that's like the ideal for like hormonal balance, is like being healthy. And she's like, that's actually not good for you. It's like not. And then when you stop doing it, it's gonna be really terrible. So this is just like to my point, like I just feel like we live in such extreme times where like we're constantly, and I mean constantly, like being famoosed by how much is like circulating through our consciousnesses. It can't be good for you. I think we all need like collective 2-month vacations on some like isolated forest getaway. Oh my God, that's like midsummer. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that's a bit of a, now it sounds like I'm starting a cult. That's also a problem. So you can't win. Everything can be taken out of context. Anyway, I'm gonna go make astrology content now. Thank you for being here. I love you very much. Thank you for writing to me, because even people who say really salty things make me laugh. They actually make me laugh quite a bit, so I'm just gonna keep answering. And I think in the future, if I get something super salty, I'll just say the username as well, just like for fun, because it's, you know, they know mine, so I can know theirs. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But thank you for listening and watching and being with me. Until next time, I love you all. Bye.